Hey guys, my name is Ryan Jackson and I scaled my service-based business to multiple seven-figure revenues. I built a team of 28 staff and then I sold that business for over $6 million. All while living over 7,000 miles away in Bali, Indonesia, whilst the business ran without me back in the UK. But after the first few years of running that business, burnout hit me quick and hard. Not because the business was big or out of control, but because everything depended on me. If I took a day off, then the business took a day off. If I got sick, then my revenue got sick. Every sale, every client, every issue, every decision landed on my desk. And that's the lesson that most founders never realize. Your business can either grow fast or it can depend on you. You don't get both, unless that is you redesign it for both. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to grow a service business so fast that it feels like cheating, and not by working harder, but by systematically removing yourself as the bottleneck, because real success isn't just money, it's freedom, and they are completely two different things. You see, fast growth doesn't feel hard because the work's complicated. It feels hard because too many things still depend on you. Most service business founders think speed comes from more hustle, working longer hours, or taking on more pressure. But speed doesn't come from effort, it comes from leverage. So if you're the one who has to sell everything, make every decision, and solve every client problem, then growth naturally is always going to feel slow and heavy. Not because scaling is difficult, but because the business can't move unless you do. And once you hit your personal limit, your business hits a ceiling. A slow business with a leveraged founder is always going to outrun a fast business with an exhausted one. You see, fast growth only feels like cheating when the business is built to move without you. So if you want speed, you have to stop worshipping perfection. And this is probably where most founders stall, because they want that perfect website, they want that perfect offer, or they want the perfect system. And of course, you want to be able to have pride in what you're delivering, and you want to be able to deliver results for your clients. But the first law of business is to create revenue. So trying to create the perfect service is pointless if it compromises your ability to sell that service. So here's something you need to remember. The moment a stranger pays you, that's when you become an entrepreneur. Everything before that is just theory. That cash exchange creates feedback, provides clarity, and creates momentum. Unfortunately, proposals aren't going to scale companies, and polished ideas don't pay salaries. Cash does. So stop asking yourself, is this perfect? And start asking, can I sell this version this week? Sell the MVP, prove demand, then improve the service with real feedback and real revenue. Once you accept that speed comes from selling before things are perfect, the next problem becomes obvious. Most founders don't struggle to sell because the service is bad. They struggle to sell because the offer gives people no reason to decide. What happens is most service businesses sell deliverables. High growth businesses sell outcomes. People don't buy what you do, they buy what changes. So if you want growth to feel unfair, your offer has to include three things. 1, urgency, so why this matters now. 2, scarcity, so why they can't wait. And 3, risk reversal, why it's safe to say yes. And this isn't manipulation, guys, it's decision clarity. Because without urgency, people procrastinate. Without scarcity, they delay. And without risk reversal, they hesitate. When your offer's clear, specific, and outcome driven, saying no starts to feel illogical, and the result is simple. Fewer follow-ups, shorter sales cycles, and decisions that happen on the first conversation. And this is where everybody wants to be. So when your offer is clear, specific, and outcome-driven, sales decisions happen faster. But here's the next constraint most founders hit. Even the best offer can't scale if leads only show up when you feel like marketing. And that's why growth feels slow for most businesses. Not because the offer's wrong, but because there's no system feeding it. You see, most founders don't actually have a marketing system. They have moods. They post when they feel like it. They sell when cash runs low, and then panic. They stop once the deal closes. That's not a strategy for growth or any kind of success. If anything, I will call that gambling. What a good marketing system will create are predictable leads, predictable revenue, and predictable growth. And predictability feels like cheating because it moves that emotional chaos. And your system doesn't need to be complex. It just needs to be consistent. X amount of content, X amount of outbound actions per day, and X amount of follow-ups every week. If leads show up regardless of your mood or whether you're motivated or not, you're already winning. Now, the next constraint shows up fast, and that's time. Because once demand is predictable, the question becomes who's actually free to handle it. And unfortunately for most founders, the answer is the same person who's doing everything else, and that's you. Most founders are busy all day, but nothing really moves because they're spending time on things like admin, taking calls, speaking to service partners, and checking the team's work instead of sales, instead of growth, and instead of creating leverage. If your goal is to hit 7 figures, then any task that doesn't grow your revenue or create some kind of leverage is costing you money. So here's the accelerator question. What should never touch your calendar again? Because every hour that you buy back is fuel for your growth. Whilst your competitors are drowning in tasks, you can focus on the multipliers. You stop being the fuel and you begin building the engine. That's when growth starts to feel unfair. Okay, so we've established that buying back time creates capacity, but capacity alone doesn't scale a business. Because if the work still requires you to do it or approve it, the calendar just fills back up. That's the real ceiling that most founders hit. And the only way past it isn't better time management, it's replacement. If you're the best salesperson, the best problem solver, and the best decision maker, your business is never gonna outgrow you. Fast growth requires replacement, not importance. So start small. Firstly, remove yourself from inboxes, then scheduling, then client communication, then sales calls. From today, for every job that you're still in, your job is to document it, train it, and then hand it over. The goal isn't to be needed, it's to be optional. That's when your revenue is gonna grow while your calendar shrinks. Growing a service business fast doesn't require more hustle. It requires better design, better leverage, and better decisions. That's why it feels like cheating. Not because it's easy, but because most founders have never built this way. So you have to stop trying to be the hero and start becoming the architect of your business. And once the structure's right, growth's gonna start feeling hard and it's gonna start feeling inevitable. And so thank you for your time today, guys. I hope you gained value from this video. And if growth is high on your priority list right now, then check out my video here on how I scale beyond 1 mil by tracking the KPIs that most founders ignore. See you inside.